Well, good evening. Laddies, lasses, and lassos, welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I was just perusing the internet as I do, as is part of my job for some wild reason. Good luck explaining that on my resume in the future. And I saw a bunch of silly, outrageous things that just made my face want to meet the palm of my hand, sort of like this. Oh my god, absolutely outrageous, and that is why we are now going to look at r/FacePalm, a beautiful subreddit filled with content that is the less beautiful parts of humanity, and we will scroll through it and laugh about it together, because then we will probably feel just a bit less insane, and we can all pretend it's all parodies of real life. Enjoy! Mwah!
When the Death Eaters appeared in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire 2005, I thought they were like an evil version of the KKK.
What do you mean evil version? Someone posted it. It has 4,000 upvotes. Is the logic here something like, oh my god, they're white and this is black, and darkness is usually like the scary thing in fantasy? That's not a logic that really works here. Oh god.
A farmer girl, I need husband, star smileys, I am single, flame emoji, am from USA, heart emojis, hashtag boom challenge.
Oh my god, what is that picture? Yeah, beauty standards have really gone astray, haven't they? At first you had like photoshopped images, and then you had like filters and that kind of stuff, and like filters that literally make your waist smaller. And now you just have AI that make girls that the legs just go all the way up. Literally all the way up. There's no torso. Is this like a serious account? Is this a serious catfish attempt? Oh yes, indeed, miscellaneous man. Can your local girls do this? Hopefully not. Where are the organs? This has to be like a parody account, right? It has to be like a parody. There is no way. Gonna cop myself a pair. Look at this. We have like paw print shoes. That is adorable. I have these. Lol. It's so funny to see my neighbor blame the dogs for shitting on his porch. That's not... Reply to your story. What's your ethnicity?
I was born in Nepal.
Darn, that's what's up. So you speak Napoleon? I can't tell if this is serious or just like very American or something. I love Napoleon as a language. That is absolutely beautiful.
3 stars. The bakery items were awesome. My only issue was that as a Christian, I felt completely uncomfortable and under attack in there spiritually. The place is filled with a satanic aura, and if you have a sensitive spirit, you will definitely feel it. The food was good, but I will never go back.
3 out of 5 stars. I mean, that's pretty good, though, for being like a horrifying satanic aura. They only lost 2 stars, If it's really that nightmare-inducing, I would imagine it reducing it by less. But, for some people, satanic auras would be a positive. I would definitely give this place a 5-star review. Hell yeah. A 29-year-old woman in the Netherlands is set to be euthanized after being told by a psychiatrist that her depression is unlikely to improve. At risk of sounding like my dad, if you're able to put mascara on, you're not depressed enough to do the jumping off the flat earth, so to say. Ah, yes indeed, mental health, that complex subject about complex brains and complex humans. But now I'm really happy that the science has finally nailed it down to one definitive point. If you put on mascara, you are cured from depression. You are very welcome, r/thanks I am cured. Females who do this should be arrested. So she got a haircut, I guess? Is there anything else to this? No, that's it? Twitter has become so unhinged. Or was Twitter always this unhinged? It's just that for some reason I see it more and more nowadays. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's so wild how people can have such strong opinions over such nothing burgers. It's wild. You just know that the rest of that profile photo involves him holding a fish and or gun. Both. Holding a gun to a fish's head. The ultimate Tinder profile picture. Ooh, that would get the ladies just swooning. How Europeans measure people, look at this. How Americans measure people. How many feet are you laid down? Sure, I'll measure you in feet. My blanket when I try to find the long side at 3 a.m. Oh, yes, it really do be like that, isn't it? The worst thing is that blankets remind me a lot like USB sticks, right? No matter which way you put it in first, it just doesn't fit, and you usually have to flip it twice to make it work for some ungodly reason. Blankets are the same. It's like, oh, this is the short side, and then you flip it 90 degrees, and it's still the short side. For some reason, it's wild. How? CNN, have you ever noticed the popularity of white robots? Oh yeah, it's so they won't look like the evil KKK. The reason for these shades of technological white may be racist. Oh my god, it's literally where it went. I was just joking. Now imagine spray painting the robots black. CNN headline becomes, owning black robots may be a sign of being pro-slavery. Wasn't that a big thing on Twitter like a year ago when people tried to make it that if you had a puppy, you were like really into slavery or something like that, because no one in the right mind would just like dogs or something like that. It was kind of wild. A lot of machines are white or a light color, so you can see leaks of hydraulic fluids and grease. This makes it easier to see problems. Same reason hospitals are kept white, so fluids and dirts and mold can't exist without being spotted. Mostly fluids. No, you're wrong! Hospital walls are racist! Ooh, I just imagine like a hospital gown that has like some kind of blood splatter theme on it. All the doctors are just going around with blood splatter themed clothes. And it's super gory. And everyone's like, oh my god, what is happening here? No, it's just the theme of the clothes. And all of a sudden, everyone is desensitized and no one is scared of going to the hospital anymore. That's totally what would happen, isn't it? Saying lab-grown diamonds are fake is like saying ice cubes are fake and only real ice is made outside. I mean, sort of a reasonable point, I suppose, because a lot of diamonds aren't particularly ethical, if that makes sense.
If someone told me the drink they made me contained ice they imported from Antarctica, I would think it's super interesting and shows a lot more intention than just having gone to the freezer. It's not about how cold the ice is, it's about the history and the actual procurement of the material.
Okay, counterpoint though. Can't you just BS and say that you got the ice from Antarctica because you're like not gonna tell the difference, right? So does it actually matter then, or are you just interested in like a quirky anecdote? Or is it like the amount of people that got killed per pounds of ice that matter? 50 people died to get this ice for your drink. Ooh, how tasty and sparkly. That's basically the diamond argument, isn't it?
Wait, are you comparing a natural stone that takes billions of years to develop with a fake stone mass-produced in factories in China? Women, if you accept a laboratory diamond from your boyfriend, you can be sure that one day he will give a natural diamond to another woman.
Oh my god, we're turning into that sort of argument as well. Man, online comments have really gone downhill in the last few years, haven't they? Like, everything gets turned into like an argument about something it's not about. It's wild.
Lab diamonds are extremely bad for the environment. The amount of energy to create just 1 carat is the same amount that could run a small hospital.
Is it though? Buying a lab-grown diamond is the same thing as buying a fake Rolex or fake Birkin. Swear to God. Lab-grown diamonds are real diamonds, not fakes. They're identical in every way to mined diamonds just created in a lab. I'd rather people hunt for my diamonds than grown in a lab. Same for pretty much everything in life. I'd rather people hunt for my diamonds. Oh my god, people care way too much. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that no one in this comment section actually owns any diamonds. They just like to go into comment sections and rants and make up problems about stuff that really aren't problems.
GIA student here. Anyone saying lab diamonds are more ethical than blood diamonds,
why the this around the word blood? Anyway,
are also incorrect. Smiley, lab diamonds are made using billions of gallons of fossil
fuels to power the pressure machines. How big are your like pressure machines or whatever? Oh my god, what do you mean billions of gallons? Jesus Christ. Human suffering is where the real value is at. If humans didn't suffer, it isn't worth anything, right? Right?
You see, it's the suffering you pay for.
If I'm gonna inflate the price of like a fancy little shiny rock or something like that in the future, this is gonna be my future merch idea. Apart from all the other horrendous ideas I presented in videos, I am going to condense like stones from like, I don't know, orphan tears. And then it's gonna be so much suffering condensed into this little shiny piece of garbage that everyone is gonna be like, oh my god, it's so amazing. Look at this human suffering condensed in this shiny piece I can have on my finger. Woo!
When I was selling naughties, men would take me on trips, staying at luxurious hotels, eating at the fanciest restaurants, and shopping and day spa treatments. Not a moment of it was ever enjoyable though, because I knew what would come after. The part where I had to let them R-word my body.
Wait, hold on a second. Like, I don't think both can be true at the same time. I mean, of course, if nothing else happened that wasn't agreed upon, that kind of stuff, like bad things can still happen, I suppose, but that doesn't seem to be like the default, is it? That's a really weird thing and really disrespectful to victims. That is wild. What is this post?
Men.
I make six figures.
This six figures, $103,000. It's barely six figures. Oh my god, silly men.
Hey bro, mail me the schedule, please.
I am not your bro. I am your coworker, not your brother.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Apologize. Won't happen again.
You better. I'm not into brother-sister stuff. I'm not into brother-sister stuff. I will mail you the schedule.
What stuff? I just didn't think much. Sorry. Oh my, wait a second. Is this person assuming this is like an invitation to something else? Like, hey there, coworker, can we do some roleplay? I'll pretend to be your brother. Is that no, that can't be what they took away from this. That is wild.
I am serious about my work, not a floozy. If you aren't serious, let me guide you. I'm not one into brother-sister stuff.
Again, what do you mean brother-sister stuff? Do you know what that sounds like? Okay, sweet. Okay, I'm not the only one who thought it sounded really weird. I am sorry I sent you that text. I'll ask someone else. Thank you. Ah, making friends in the workplace, isn't it a beautiful thing?
Oh my god, can we do some brother-sister stuff on this after work? Yeehaw.
I love how we didn't raise minimum wage because it would make food more expensive. But then we just made the food more expensive anyways. Ah, yes indeed. You see, everybody wins. Except most people. My wife and I tried to play Call of Duty multiplayer yesterday. I shot her in the head while she was still trying to figure out the controls, and now she made breakfast for only herself and the kids. 739,000 likes. People can really relate to the rage quitting. Oh my god, that is beautiful. Makes me think about when my wife and I were playing a zombies match together. Oh, that brings me back. Zombies were so good, man. Got posted up on our usual spot. She was right behind me blasting the horde when I heard a distinct dink. Then she was down and needed to be revived. During a reload, she accidentally threw a grenade that bounced off the back of my head and landed directly behind her. Me, why are you down? Her, frick you, grenades suck! The great times. She also likes to joke about it now. Ah, zombies, that was really some special times, wasn't it? I remember how horrifying the absolute first zombie map was when I discovered it with a friend, because it has a legit spooky vibe to it. It's so good, it's so freaking good. If you haven't played the original zombies, like from Call of Duty World at War 1, then you should really do it. It's really, really good.
I once saw a white, very skinny girl speaking Spanish, so I curiously asked her why she was so white and didn't look like Mexican or Latina. Turns out she was Spanish, not white.
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white. If white, why not white sound? Are there any people in Europe that speak Spanish? Oh, you silly person. Spanish is a language, not a people. So silly, so silly. Tesla has refused my request to sell my recently purchased Cybertruck. They do not want to buy and have told me I can't sell. It does not fit into the complex I live. I found that out the day I bought it back. What can I do? Not trying to make a profit. I just need to sell my Cybertruck. I plan on purchasing a Model 3 to replace it. This is my 4th Tesla and I can't believe I'm in this position. They can tell me they don't want to buy it and I can't sell it. Wait, they can tell me that, okay, do I need an attorney? I don't want to violate my contract. I immediately notified Tesla in writing when I found my circumstances had changed, and I was not able to make the Cybertruck work. If I had been able to test drive it and take it home, I could have avoided this. That sounds pretty heckin' wild. I think agreements like this are relatively common when you buy like more high-end stuff to avoid scalpers. I think this is also the case with like fancy cars and that kind of stuff. Seems like an avoidable issue though, but damn, I'm glad I'm not dealing with that. My health insurance sent me a letter telling me they're canceling my health insurance because they don't know my address. Wait a second, they sent you a letter telling you they don't know your address. So tomorrow, I have to read that back to them and see if they can see the problem there. My wife had a credit card be cancelled because they could not reach her by email. She got the notice by email. They never tried to send physical mail. Same thing happened to me. During the COVID shutdown, they said, I should have used my credit card more. Birch? On what? I couldn't go anywhere. I just buy random stuff online to keep the credit card. It's that simple. Just purchase a bunch of stuff and just live in a sea of boxes. That's how you do it, baby. Hell yeah, the 2024 lifestyle. Or the 2020 lifestyle in this case, I suppose. Reminds me of a line from American Pie. Stifler in the locker room while Oz is singing. So this chick calls me up, right? She calls me up and asks me for my number. Oh my god. I once got my car stolen by a towing company because I missed a payment on it. Except the payment was missed because my loan was bought by another company. And they informed me of this with a typo-ridden letter with none of my personal info included that I, and any rational person, would assume was a scam. When I asked why they didn't try to contact me, they said, "We didn't know where you lived." The worst part, they did it the day before Christmas, and because they did it in the middle of the night while I was asleep, I didn't find out it happened until the next morning, when the towing place was closed and wouldn't open again until after New Year's. I mean, you joke about the letter looking like a scam, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if they made the letter look like a scam so people don't pay it so they can just collect like late fees and stuff. It sounds like a double scam, doesn't it? It's like a double twist. That is so wild. I had a doctor's office almost turn me over to collections recently. I logged in to confirm my upcoming appointment and noticed that I had an overdue bill. I called to ask what happened and was told that they had mailed the bill months ago, along with overdue reminders. We quickly confirmed that someone in the office got my address wrong. It wasn't even close. Appointment reminders every other damn day? No problem, we'll email and text those. Overdue bill that is about to go to collections because someone in the office can't type? Sorry, all we can do is mail another notice to the wrong address. My god, that is so painful. Yeah, sometimes stuff like this is incredibly silly. I remember I had a package that I had to pick up for like my YouTube related stuff. I think it was one of like the demo plushies from Makeshift. But on the package it only said like the company name and not like my actual name that is on my ID card. So when I went to pick it up, they were like, "No, you need to show the ID card for the name on the package." And I'm like, that's a company name. It's a person that doesn't exist. And they're like, "Sorry, we can't give you the package." I'm like, wait a second. I have a text message on my phone where I can redirect this package to my front door instead of picking it up here. Like, I can click it right now as we speak. It's right here. And I show them and they're like, "No, because of policy, we can't give you this package because we would be liable if we gave it to the wrong person. So we need the ID of this company name that isn't even a real person." So basically, unless I could come up with an ID card that literally said "the click" on it, essentially, I couldn't pick it up. So I had to like call the postal company and use this link in my text to redirect the package to my door. So I couldn't pick up the package, but I could redirect it to my door without even requiring a signature. It's such like, sometimes you get stuck in these wild systems. There's just like, this is not really protecting anyone. This is just weird. Like, I understand it. I'm not blaming the workers in the post office. They're just following policy. But the policy is a bit wonky, isn't it?
I am a female crane operator. Men stare at me constantly.
With what? Binoculars? Average misleading post article. I read that article. She mentions like one sentence about how when new people come on board, she instantly catches their attention and they look at her because the rarity of a woman crane operator. She's not actually talking about while operating the crane. She literally never tries to play victim, and the entire article is about how she loves construction and is trying to convince all young boys and girls to look into it. Oh yes, indeed, it seems like the FacePalm was crappy news article headlines all along. Who would have thunk it? Receive salary? I should stick to my budget this month. Oh, my lord, are you not the master of chaos, the unstoppable force of nature? The world is ablaze. Spend thy coin and spare no expense this day, for there is no promise of tomorrow. I mean, it's not really a facepalm moment. This is just a vibe, isn't it? This is just a vibe. I agree with the vibe. Hell yes, vibe. Buy a plushie today. The world may not exist tomorrow. Is that good marketing? Link in description.
Why don't pictures like this ever trend?
And here's like a super long AI truck with just a bunch of American flags. Okay, let's dig into this picture, shall we? Number 1, the flags are not waving in the wind. Number 2, the truck is driving against the traffic, which is like wild. Number 3, zoom in on those like signs on the road. It's absolute gibberish. Like, what do you mean pictures like this don't trend? They're not real. Do you think this is how American flags are transported around the country? Just like a massive truck going freaking against the traffic on a highway. Why do pictures like this never trend? Oh my. Oh, Facebook memes, man, I swear to God. Actor from Furiosa has to explain he played a fictional character in the film, and in real life he is in fact not a P-word. Oh my god, is this where media literacy is at? That is absolutely wild. Are we gonna see this for every like World War II movie as well, where every actor has to clarify that they're actually not literally Hitler? Okay, anyway, let's read it, shall we? Hi everyone. I've noticed a few queries and private messages about my role in Mad Max Furiosa, particularly regarding a scene with young Furiosa. This is a very sensitive subject, and I want to emphasize that it involves a fictional character. The details can be uncomfortable, and as an actor, my job is to portray a character based on the direction and script provided to me. I appreciate your understanding and support in recognizing the distinction between fiction and reality. Thank you. Best Nathan. That is the most polite way ever to just say that you're all idiots. This is fiction. It's a movie. It's not a real person. I swear to God, like, media literacy is pretty low as it is, but this like takes some sort of cake. That is absolutely wild. Do people actually believe that actors are their characters? Is that where we're at now? Oh my lord. The US Coast Guard rescued a sea turtle entangled in bundles of cocaine off the coast of Florida. And they complain about plastic straws and stuff. What about the bags of cocaine? Lol, that turtle was moving weight and hit the Coast Guard with, I just got tangled up. Legend. And they let the turtle go? Oh my god, what if that's like a thing? This reminds me of a really funny concept we used to have back in uni. We used to create fake lectures for the newcomers in engineering. It was really funny. We would like invite an old alumni to like have a lecture about engineering, but everything was just fake and absolutely ridiculous. So speaking of sea creatures, one of the years we had a lecture from someone that worked in like the Swedish defense, and they said that yeah, to like avoid submarines encroaching on our territory and stuff in the ocean, we are now training attack seals with bomb belts. So when there's a submarine of a foreign power, these seals will just ram the submarine and sink it. So nobody will want to invade Sweden because the waters are just filled with bomb seals. So, yeah, this reminded me a lot about that. It's bomb seals or it's cocaine turtles. Isn't that beautiful? Teenage cocaine cartel turtles. Oh my god, I need that to be a series. That would be so good. That's probably like a remake of a series that would actually be good, and everyone who watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as kids would enjoy it now as adults because it has more adult themes. Who wouldn't like Teenage Mutant Cocaine Cartel Turtles? Unvaxxed, waxed, and ready to climax. Okay, you get half a star for the rhyme. Right? Half a star out of 10 still isn't very good. Miss Maryland's wedding pig. So when two biological men get married, does this mean they're gay? I cannot think of a reason to post this picture of two happily people getting married, except absolutely crippling jealousy of at least one of them. Yeah, that seems to be the thing, right? People that are so needlessly hateful over just like random happy pictures is a certain breed of like chronically online and way too much free time, isn't it? My god.
Normal!
And it's a picture of clouds.
It's heartbreaking when my youngest son's eye lit up and he points and says, "Look at the sky." I'm like, it's not the sky.
I love how insane everyone is becoming. Certain groups believe the sky is a giant image projection. Oh, is this like a shoot off of the flat earth thing? Is that what it is? I also love that Twitter does that, when it just posts things with no context, especially when it's really nuts. Stuff like this. This is totally normal. It's just a picture of a cloud. It's like, yeah, okay. They just aren't able to ever explain why any government or whatever would benefit from hiding that if it was the case. Same with the flat earth dimwits. There is no benefit at all from covering these up. I think the only actual reasoning I've ever heard is that NASA is a fake organization and they don't actually work with space stuff, and instead the budget is just lining the pockets of like the cabal that is lying about the ball earth or whatever reason. But like, NASA's budget is pretty tiny compared to a lot of things, fam. I think it would cost way more to just cover up the flat earth and, you know, guard the borders of the polar ice cap or whatever it is, instead of just, I don't know, not doing it, you know? It doesn't seem like an economically good choice. News. Idaho bar declares June Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. What, did a 13-year-old write this? Offers free beer to straight men. I also love how there's just a rainbow in the picture. That's like the one picture they had. Plot twist, it's a gay bar. 100%, I mean, the rainbow gives it away. Heterosexual Awesomeness Month, yeah! I just imagine some dude with like a button-up flannel shirt, a shotgun over his shoulder, and like an eagle going like, "Gah!" over the sky behind him. And, yeah! Straightness! Heterosexual Awesomeness Month? Sounds really gay. I'm gonna be honest, fam. I'm gonna be absolutely honest.
30 years ago, we sat in a school classroom quietly. No ADHD anywhere.
Are you telling me that kids didn't make noise 30 years ago? Alright, anyway.
Kids ate peanuts and had zero food allergies. Almost no kids were obese. Autism simply didn't exist in children. Okay, sure. Any ideas?
30 years ago, I was sat in a classroom, clearly autistic with ADHD, being told I was just a naughty, awkward kid. Just because the diagnosis wasn't there doesn't mean the conditions weren't. I mean, you could just compare this to all the examples in history of like big historical figures just dying or suffering from random disease, and they're like, oh, it must be the blood demons. But then, now we realize that, they probably had like cancer or something like that. But, the diagnosis didn't exist back then, but it doesn't mean that they're like more alive because of it. Stuff can exist before we have a proper way of diagnosing it or before we know what it is. So this argument is like really, really weird. And I understand the point they're trying to make, of course. It's that when this is normalized, all people think they have ADHD or, it's the gay agenda or whatever argument they want to use. But you can just look at things like, for example, left-handedness and how much left-handedness increased once it was socially acceptable to be left-handed. And this is a phenomenon you see with a lot of statistics, that once the hidden number goes down and something becomes accepted, of course it's going to look like it increases because all the people that have been in the closet or, working with their right hand, for example, don't have to do that anymore, and the statistic will magically increase. So, the argument has a completely different explanation, and it ain't that. New York Post. Tradwife TikToker fired after using N-word in foul-mouthed cooking video.
Oh no, I just got fired, #mob.
I saw this happening in live time. It was so weird, but it's so obviously just kind of a grift. Let's dig into it, shall we? From what I've read about this, she was hoping for a viral reaction that she could turn into a right-wing influencer gig, but now her ethnicity, apparently she has a Jewish nose, is being challenged by the people she was trying to impress. Leopards, face, something, leopards ate my face.
Oh my god,
I never thought the leopards would eat my face, says the woman who voted for leopards eating people's faces party. Yeah, I saw this whole thing go down in live time on Twitter, and it was absolutely amazingly stupid. It was like a video of her just casually dropping the N-word in it, and then the updates about getting fired, and the outrage, and trying to appeal to a very certain demographic about it, and starting the grift, and oh my god, I'll become an influencer over this, and attend all the talkie shows that talk about bogus online that no one really cares about. And it just didn't work, because the people she tried to impress just turned out to be awful. Yeah, who would have thunk it?
The left isn't appropriate at all, especially if you're breastfeeding around a man's homeboys.
I don't think we can show this on YouTube, so we gotta censor it, but there's just some feeding baby action. Alright, very, very serious topic. I am a straight male. A woman pops her bob out, doesn't put a blanket over her, and breastfeeds her child. You think I'm not gonna think sexually? It's just a baby, man. No, probably you shouldn't. That's a little bit wild. It is my professional opinion that adding a baby to something immediately removes all naughty appeal, for obvious reasons. Maybe if a woman was booby feeding another adult, that might be sexual, but this is literally just feeding a child. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't give off a lot of, naughty vibes, if that makes sense. It's not like your brain goes to it and be like, oh my god, yes, look at that bubby. It's Maybe nah. Why do I need an AR-15? Because someday the government may tell me I'm not allowed to put my sick son on a plane and fly him to Italy for treatment. And believe me when I tell you, I will be putting him on that plane. I need an AR-15 in case I need to hijack a plane to fly my son to a country with socialized healthcare is currently my favorite take on gun ownership. Okay, Twitter is an absolute cesspool, okay? But sometimes you have a little nugget floating to the surface. It's like if you have a completely just spray-painted toilet, but just in the middle, just a bloop. Oh my god, it's a nugget floating in the middle of the spray-painted toilet. That's basically what this tweet is. Congratulations.
Why do men stop talking to a lady after she says no to a dating proposal?
Okay, there are a couple of different ways to see this tweet, right? One is just that, no means no, and you'll stop chasing someone when they tell you no. And the other one is that even if you're looking for a friendship, it doesn't mean that the other person is looking for a friendship and they're interested in something more, and if they stick around, it's going to be emotionally painful and so on and so forth. People can look for different things. Tweets like this, very silly. USA math team Olympiad beats China for the first time in 30 years. Use the stones to destroy the stones. Oh, okay, I see what you did there. This reminds me of when the US team for the chess Olympics in the 80s was full of ex-Russian players. Their rallying cry was, our Russians can beat your Russians. NHL Edmonton All-Ears versus Florida Panthers, and people assuming the Canadian team is going to win for obvious reasons. Most Panthers players were Canadians. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. We're just going down history lane. Isn't that beautiful? Cornelius Michael was convicted of armed robbery in the year 2000 and sentenced to 13 years. But the state of Missouri forgot to put him in prison. Wait, what? Was he like sentenced in court and then just like, oh yeah, show up tomorrow or whatever, and no one ever like called him in or something? Is that... That is wild. Musky Husky, it should be considered a national emergency to have kids.
I come from a family of 8. I plan to have a lot of kids. We're going to outbreed the left.
I swear to God. Twitter discourse. It's so weird. You know, sometimes, after I've been outdoors for a couple of days doing regular outdoorsy things, I come back to Twitter and I scroll stuff like this, and I'm like, there is no way these people ever leave the house. I'm gonna have 30 kids to own the libs. What do you mean?
We're going to outbreed the left. Then we're gonna homeschool and send our kids to private school so they can't be groomed into becoming activists for leftist causes.
I'm gonna be honest, fam, like the dedication of putting your body through 30 pregnancies for like a political candidate is absolutely wild. I don't know anyone that is that intrigued by a politician. Dear God, this is worse than all the hardcore fans writing like Harry Potter fanfics back in 2006.
My daughter started her period without my permission. How should I punish her?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest now. Quora is like 99% fake BS nowadays. I think it's all botted, to be honest. It's just like AI-generated rage for some reason. The Quora website is like useless at this point. It's fascinating. Wait, they have been mocking me this whole time? Starter pack. Oh, it's like Idiocracy, and it's like Punisher and Green Day American Idiot and stuff. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I get that. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
I will never forget Good Christian shouting,
"You're a W word!"
in my face when I walked into Planned Parenthood in 2000, needing an emergency contraception and STI testing after I was R-worded at a fraternity party.
How horrible. They should have said baby-killing W word. Oh, so that never happened.
Oh, you see, yeah, just proving the point, doesn't it? It's beautiful sometimes when you do that, when you think you're being smart and, like, pushing your opinion, but you're just, like, proving the point of the original post. Ooh, look at you go. Big 5 Sporting Goods. Washington teen returned replica gun to store, shot dead by security guard. That is absolutely wild. What kind of replica gun are we even talking about? Is it like a Nerf gun? Is that what we're talking about? Like, I don't imagine they have... Okay, maybe it's a sports store in the US, so maybe they have more like actual gun-looking things. I don't know, but it sounds really wild. Like you're just returning a little gun and this happens? Jesus Christ, man.
LGBT greater than alphabet people. LGBT and we've ripped the rest off.
Like QIA plus? But so asexuals are cut off. That's the alphabet people? It is crazy being a gay conservative because you have to take these incomprehensibly nuanced opinions while all the people you're voting alongside can't wait for the day they get to march you into a labor camp. I feel this kind of stuff is also like weirdly America-centric, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, some people really do be really pick-me about the stuff they do online, aren't they? Ohio mom sentenced for death of 4-year-old diabetic daughter who was mostly fed baby formula mixed with Mountain Dew.
Oh, that's so... Oh my God. Jesus Christ, that's gross.
Of course it happened in Ohio. I tried to take peanut butter through airport security. TSA, sorry, no liquids, gels, or aerosols. Me, I want you to tell me which one of these things you think peanut butter is. I mean, sort of like a gel, I suppose, but it falls into that category where I probably wouldn't, like, try to bother, or keep the container below, like, the threshold, you know, then you're also fine. But stuff that is typically sticky, or can be considered, like, kind of liquid a little bit, is typically doesn't go well, nah.
Christ, Trump, persecution of a man.
Is this real? It looks AI generated. Is this real? Oh my God. This is a real thing. Damn, I'm fascinated. Trans teen's teeth exploded when she was punished for using school bathroom.
Maybe he will use the correct bathroom next time.
I am pretty sure they were using the bathroom you would have told them to use.
No, the weirdo should be using his home.
Ah, there we go. Isn't that beautiful? So it's not about like trying to follow rules or doing what they say. They just want to be awful for the sake of being awful. Thank you for showing your true colors on Twitter yet again. It's like you're playing poker with someone, but they're playing with the cards backwards or something. Oh my God, that's so awful. Woman sues hospital for denying her treatment for debilitating headaches because she's of childbearing age. What is that supposed to mean? Tara claims she ran into issues with New York neurologist when she was seeking treatment for cluster headaches. It's like you could hypothetically be pregnant, so it won't give you cures for headaches. If that's actually what happened, it's incredibly insane. Influencer who promoted virtues of fruit-only diet dies age 39 of malnutrition. Social media influencer Sana died after eating just tropical fruit. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very full diet. That is so tragic. But it's also so sad that stuff like this become popular to that extent, because there is an engine behind this, driving like the popularity, and everyone is looking for like the next healthy thing or the next cure and that kind of stuff. I think one thing to be really aware of when it comes to influencers is that don't buy into it so hard you like vastly change your life. I think following influencers for like basic motivation, that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, it's fun to follow like, you know, fitness influencers or like people that make gym videos if you're into that yourself and you can like track progression or get inspiration, that kind of stuff. It's perfectly fine. But when it comes to like altering like your entire diet into something quite quirky like this that literally cannot give you all the nutrients your body needs, or things that you can deem very extreme, or another thing, for example, is the lack of transparency when it comes to, for example, steroids. It's starting to shift a little bit, but it's still very much a problem. So I suppose the takeaway is don't get sucked in so deep in these sort of rabbit holes where you'll make these massive changes just on a whim, because a lot of the time it's not very good for you at all. Variety article about Emma Darcy being misgenders them in the headline. No way! House of the Dragon star Emma got misgendered during an interview on the season 2 red carpet. Her co-star Matt Smith gently course-corrected the discussion. Her co-star No, if you're gonna crap on another outlet for like misgendering someone or getting something wrong,
Maybe you should double check that you don't do the same thing yourself. No, maybe that's a good idea. Oh, that's so embarrassing.
Do you self-harm on your upper thigh? I hope you stop doing that. Look at that picture. You're too beautiful. Please stop.
those are a couple of stretch marks, my dude.
Oh no, no.
My son's teacher has banned me from decorating my son's bananas as they were causing too much of a ruckus in class. And honestly, knowing my art caused a class of 6-year-olds to riot is probably one of the best compliments I've ever received. I wish I took more photos before the ban.
Here's Zach and Zach with the decorated bananas. That is so cute. Oh my god. I just picture a class of 6-year-olds as going absolutely bananas over these bananas. Oh my god, I knew I could squeeze a good pun into this video as well. Oh yes, indeed, I am very, very proud of myself. Well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here, you wonderful, beautiful bean, and I hope to see you again in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.